The absolute craziest thing that a woman lied to me about was having a kid. And had I not followed the strategies in this guide, I would have never found out about it. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys the best vetting strategies in 2024. I'm also gonna give you guys a series of questions to ask a girl to make her tell on herself. And then finally, I'm gonna give you guys my trump card to find out anything about a girl's past. And real quick, this is a levels guide. So each level is gonna get more and more intense on how to vet a girl properly. So the longer you guys watch the video, the better it gets and the more overall strategies you're gonna have to use. Level 1. Have you guys ever dated someone who, when you first met, just instantly had a few things that were different from the rest of the people you dated? Like, for example, have you ever dated a girl with like a lot of tattoos, or she has some weird hair color that wasn't natural? Often enough, when you start dating these kind of girls, you start to recognize a pattern of toxicness slash like red flags that come from them when they have these kind of weird characteristics to them. And so for the first strategy, you need to be judging a girl by her looks and how she carries herself and how she moves in public, because oftentimes love and friendships blind us to certain people's characters. And when it comes to a girl you're attracted to, you often ignore her just because she's bad or just because she's attractive. So one of the first things I look out for is a girl's tattoos. If she has tattoos, I want to see what kind of tattoos she has. If she has a butterfly tattoo, instant red flag, instant red flag. If she has any sort of flowers on her, instant red flag. If she has any sort of crazy, kind of unique, kind of weird tattoos that don't have any meaning to them, you have to start looking at those things as a sign, because oftentimes those girls do those things and remember certain things, or they want to be free. This is just my personal experience. The most promiscuous woman, the most toxic woman I've met, always have some sort of sign of freedom on them, which is like the butterfly, the caterpillar, these flowers that bloom. They're often a sign of, even like the little birds too, they're often a sign of flying away from their past and from their trauma and things like that. And I just found that when they have these sort of signs on them, they oftentimes have not healed from their trauma, making them unsuitable to be my girlfriend, at least. And you guys could take it a step further too. You guys can start to look at the way the girl dresses as also a sign, as most guys do anyway. I don't think that's the most clear way, because clothes, depending on where she's at, could be appropriate for the environment. Like if I met a girl at the beach and she's wearing a bikini, I wouldn't say, oh my God, you freaking, I wouldn't say it because you're wearing a bikini. But I would definitely say, make sure you guys are judging a girl on her looks, because oftentimes they're definitely an expression of who she is. One thing I've noticed from my own life is that when a girl gets her heart broken, she changes her hair. I don't know what it is about changing her hair, but they'll cut it, they'll dye it some weird color. They'll just try to, do something just to make themselves feel like brand new and feel like they're a different person. And I always look at those things because those are just good signs to look at. And lastly, the thing I'd highly recommend is just think about where you met her at. Did you meet her at church? Did you meet her at the store? Did you meet her at the gym? Or did you meet her at the club, the bar, some weird event that's like, a concert or something like that? Wherever a girl is mostly spending her time is often who she becomes, in my experience. If she's consistently at the club, the bar, going out to parties, concerts, that's not gonna be the kind of girl who often values like religion, being a good member of society. Now I'm playing. Bottom line is, I would often just be aware of where you're meeting her at, because most of the time, you're not gonna find the girl that you really want at the club or the bar. But it does happen from time to time. But overall, I would just take that as a red flag if you're meeting her in those places, because oftentimes the nighttime brings out the worst in people. Level 2. To most people, this is everything to them. This means how important they are. This is how they perceive themselves. This is the absolute #1 thing that controls their lives. Can you guess what it is? So when I'm meeting women, I often like to grab their Instagram as well as their phone number, just so that way I can see how she's moving on social media, because a lot of women these days, especially in America, they value themselves based on how their Instagram looks and how they're perceived from there. And I often like to see how that girl's moving on there and how she's really carrying herself. If I see that girl's on Instagram consistently promoting her personal brand, and she's moving in a certain sense of way that doesn't really condone with what I want, I'm not taking her serious. I'm not gonna wanna be in a relationship with a girl who has a link tree in her bio. I don't wanna be with a girl like that. You have to do a little bit of light social media stalking, because if you wanna really understand a girl, you must look at what she's done in her past as far as social media goes and overall life. But so what I'll do is once I start talking to a girl, we start dating, what I'll often do is I will look on her Twitter and I will look on her Instagram. If I see anything that's weird on those places, I will just dive deeper and see what else I can find. Because for most people, it's hard to erase your social media past. Once it's posted, it's there forever almost. And so one time I was dating this girl and I felt like something was off, you know. So things were just going a little bit too quick for me and things were going a little bit too well. And I'm like, something's weird about this girl. So one of the best strategies to vet a girl on social media is to find out her username and just search across social media. On some Joe Goldberg shit, what I used to do was I would get a girl's phone number, I would find her Snapchat username from it, I would type it in on Twitter, I would type it in on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And then at that point, I would just do a little bit of light stalking, bro, just making sure that she is who she says she is. Oftentimes than not, there won't be anything crazy, but recently it's actually saving me a lot of time and energy because I was dating this girl, things were going well, and I was just like, something in my heart, something in my stomach just made me say, something's just not right here. So after just scrolling on Twitter with her Snapchat username, I see, oh, congratulations, he's so adorable, he's so whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's adorable? And then he's scrolling and he goes, oh, you guys make the perfect couple. You guys are gonna enjoy this boy so much. I started scratching my head, I'm like, what the fuck? Long story short, I come to find out she has a fucking kid that she never told me about. And I'm dating this girl for like 6 months at this point. There was some other issues which made me not want to commit to her, but I'm like, ain't no fucking way in hell she lied to me. And lo and behold, after having a probe and talk to her about it, she eventually confessed. I didn't tell her how I found out, but I just said pretty much like, there's a good chance that if I never asked you, you would have never told me until it was way too fucking late. And this is the exact reason why you need to be vetting girls in 2024, because nowadays, these girls got goddamn Narnia in their closet. Fuck having Pandora's box, they got Narnia in their fucking closet. The amount of dark shit they have going on, bro, it's not worth the headache. The big thing you guys gotta understand is to trust people's actions, never their word. Because a lot of times, people will tell you what you wanna hear, and they won't tell you the complete honest truth unless you find out for yourself. Level 3, have you guys ever been on a first date with a girl and she just yapping, telling you about her life, and you're just sitting there listening and just seeing how she's kind of like exposing herself? That is the biggest principle about this level here. It's pretty much to pose as a friend, work as a spy. When I first started talking to a girl, I first started dating her, I try to make the environment of our relationship as judgmental free as possible. I want her to naturally tell on herself and naturally just be free enough to tell me the truth. Because once you start judging a girl at first, and just anybody, we're gonna get defensive. We're gonna feel like, wow, like I can't tell you nothing without you having something to say about it. So with me, when I first started dating a girl, I don't judge them on anything. A girl can damn near tell me she had a train go on her, and I'll be like, oh, that's nothing. My ex used to do that all the time. Head ass. I'll be on some shit like that just so that way they can continue to tell me shit. And one of my first favorite date questions to ask that opens up the floodgates is, where have you traveled to? Where have you been to? What have you done? And once you start making them start talking about their experiences and they start reminiscing on the good times, they start becoming susceptible to like talking more about themselves and letting things out. Like when a girl starts talking about, oh, I went to Turks, I went to Tulum, I went to wherever. I said, wow, that's crazy. So you know what? Yada. Well, look, like those places, people get real crazy down there, like, you know. And so one of the things I'll do is I'll give her a truth about me that's kind of like a little bit of a secret. And then that's when she'll start telling her on herself. So I'll be like, yeah, I remember this one time I took a girl out there and she was like, we had a good old time. And then she'll start bringing up, oh yeah, I went up with this one guy, he flew me, he took me there, yada. And then she'll now start diving deeper and deeper and deeper. Next thing I know, I'm hearing about how, he broke her heart and how, he was tricking her. You'll find out so many different truths from a girl directly when the environment is judgment free, it's good vibes. Also having a conversation where you're telling stuff about yourself as well. Usually when that happens, you'll find out so many different things. I found out one time from a party that a girl I was interested in was being flown out by this fucking rich dude. I'm like, what the fuck? Just because the things were just going so smooth. And so you have to start working yourselves into questions that make girls want to talk. One of the questions I like to ask that's simple is just, what do you do for fun when you're with your friends? If a girl tells you all they do is go party, they go travel, I'm already knowing what that is. And so lastly, the best piece of advice for this strategy is just make sure that during the process when she's telling you some crazy shit, you do not judge her, because she'll start telling you some things that make you be like, what? If you do that, you're cooked, bruh. Just make sure you act like it's nothing, there's nothing wrong with it. For example, a girl be like, yeah, me and my ex were in the bathroom doing coke together. I'd be like, oh, really? My ex did way worse things than that. And at that point, she'll feel way more free to tell you information about herself, so that way you can make a decision that you want to do. So this level here is going to show you a lot about a woman directly from her mouth, but level 4 is going to show you her deepest and darkest secrets. Let's get right into it. Level 4, this strategy here is going to show you a girl's deepest and darkest secrets without you having to do much work at all. It's by far probably the most controversial one, and it definitely takes a little bit of heart to do it, because once you look into a girl's past like this, you may not look at her ever the same again, and you have to be willing to accept that. So the key to this strategy is to, number 1, get a picture of her from her social media. Number 2, you're gonna go to PimEyes.com. PimEyes is pretty much an advanced search engine that lets you find out about a person from their face. There is a facial search recognition feature to it that allows you to look up someone based on the way they look. It will search that person's face across the internet. Hopefully, when that happens, you won't see anything that's gonna make you get a red flag or trigger you. Now, if you're not so lucky, you're gonna find out that she's on these adult sites. You're gonna find out that she's doing this and this and that. And if you pay like 15 bucks for that search, you can literally pull up the links where she's at and look at what she was doing on those websites. This is not for the weak-hearted. If you do this shit and you find out some shit, you're instantly gonna lose your attraction to that person. Just make sure you guys be very, very careful with this strategy, because it's gonna show you things that you didn't know about a girl. I've had girls that I've dated that were like on OnlyFans, that were on like escort sites. It could be someone, you know, faking as them, but you just have to be aware of what you're getting yourself into when you use this trump card. I would just say it like this: if you're dating a girl that's not from this country, you're dating a girl that's not from the area you're in, she has a huge lot of red flags, she's just overly flirtatious, this is one of those strategies that's gonna show you everything you need to know. And you don't wanna be the guy who gets caught up in a relationship with a girl who's absolutely terrible because you didn't do your homework beforehand. Once you guys do this, you guys can find out almost anything about the girl. And at that point in time, you guys can truly maneuver your way in a relationship based on what you know about her. You know, I've seen situations where people have found out that their husband had been like fucking felons. You know, they found out they were felons from doing certain activities because their face was on a mugshot. This is where the guide is kind of dark, because you never really know who you're dating until you do your vetting and until you do your homework on them. So just keep that in mind when you guys use the strategy here, and just keep in mind that this is gonna change everything for you if you do it. I would highly make sure you guys are using these tools for your own life. Don't be that weird ass dude who's trying to find out dirt about someone just to use it to harass them. I don't condone blackmailing. I don't condone stalking, like actual stalking. I only condone vetting for yourself and for your own peace of mind. So hopefully this guide helps you guys vet women that you're dating and make sure you guys are making the right decision for yourself. Again, you can use these simple strategies for women that you meet at the gym, the club, the church, anywhere pretty much, which leads me to the final thing. If you guys are struggling to meet your gym crush, walk up to her, talk to her, I made an absolute banger guide that's gonna help you guys do that right here. Make sure you guys watch that, because if you don't, this strategy is almost useless. And with that said, my name is KJ Black Ace. I make content like this all the time. Make sure you guys subscribe. I'm out of here.